I made another video in which I answered the question, which yoga poses were most useful to me during my cancer treatment. And this video is a bonus, which is showing in more detail how I did the pose that I found most useful during my treatment for head and neck cancer, which is supported Bharadvajasana. So if you want to see how to do that pose, stay tuned. If you haven't already watched the video on in which I answered the question which yoga poses were most useful to me during my cancer journey, you may want to go back and watch that now, because it'll give some of the background and some more understanding of why I ended up settling on this pose as the one that seemed to serve me the best. So it supported Bharadvajasana, a restorative pose. Before I demonstrate supported Bharadvajasana, the pose that was most useful to me during my cancer treatment, when I was having so many side effects from the radiation and chemotherapy and had very little energy, let me just talk a little bit about the bolster. I have chosen a cylindrical bolster that is kind of round or oval shape on one end and long. I highly recommend these over the flat ones that you often see in yoga studios. Now, as far as I can tell, yoga studios prefer those flat bolsters because they're easier to stack and store in the studio, and they often have limited space. But as far as the quality of restorative experience goes, for most poses, I find these rounded bolsters to be far superior. Now, the other thing I'd like to say is, if you can afford it, please invest in a quality bolster. You really do get what you pay for with bolsters, and cheap ones end up looking like bananas within a few months. A good quality one, stuffed with cotton batting, ideally organic if you can get it, if you can afford it, these will retain their shape for years, and they'll serve you many years. So over the long run, it's a good investment if you're going to be doing restorative poses. I would not get bolsters stuffed with foam or synthetic materials. They do not give as good a quality experience. Okay, so I'm going to come down to begin, and I'm just going to sit down kind of more on my left hip, and I'm going to have my spine kind of even with the middle of the bolster. Now I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to turn the foot under and put the top of the right foot, the dorsum of the right foot, into kind of a cradle caused by the heel of the left foot. And then as I come down, I'm going to be rotating my spine to the left. Now, my spine doesn't rotate that much due to a spinal condition I have from a childhood injury. But that's my intention, to be rotating the spine as I come down on an exhalation. So something like this. Then just before I land, I'm going to turn my head back to the right. So when the rib cage turns one way, the chest turns one way, and the head turns the other, you get a very nice stretch of the scalene muscles in the neck and some other structures in the neck. Now I'm going to turn my left hand under and put it down near my hip, and I'm going to take my right arm and put the entire forearm on the ground. And when I do that, I actually get more twist in the head, more twist in the neck. And this is a lovely pose. I can feel myself starting to relax within seconds of coming down. Then to come up, you place one hand alongside the bolster, the other hand alongside the bolster. With the strength of the arms, push yourself up to a seated position. So that is restorative, supported Bharadvajasana. I only demonstrated on one side. but I highly suggest you do it on both sides. And I would start off, if you haven't been doing this or haven't been doing other restoratives, with just maybe 2 or 3 minutes to begin. And then as you gain experience, you can increase that time to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even longer. When I was in the throes of chemotherapy and radiation and had very little energy, I would sometimes do a half an hour on each side. Now, I'm an experienced restorative practitioner, and so that's no problem for me, but that's not something you would want to do unless you've had some prior experience. In any case, I hope this pose serves you as it has served me so well and continues to. All for today. Take care. Namaste.